Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne. I got a video for that. Kimball, United States Army veteran and retired VA rating specialist. Today's video, I'm bringing you more VA nuggets. I'm going to be talking about what are some conditions that you can claim that does not have to be documented in your active duty medical records and possibly get service connected. Now, I'm gonna say that again because I know a lot of you are like, wait a minute, Dwayne, what are you talking about? What are some conditions that you can claim that the VA will concede, meaning not documented in your active duty medical records and possibly get service connected? Make sure you stick around. So before we get into today's video, I got a couple of announcements. One, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and notification button so you can catch my live streams the first Wednesday of every month at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm thinking about doing a second live throughout the month, but I probably start with every other month before I go back to 2 live streams a month. Also, make sure you click the link below in the description section to get signed up for our quarterly upcoming How to Win Your VA Compensation Claims. You definitely don't want to miss it. Now, I'm only allowing a certain amount of seats, so make sure you register and get yours today. So today's video, what conditions can you claim that does not have to be documented in your active duty medical records and possibly, and I use that word strongly, possibly you can get service connected for, okay? So before I share these with you, one thing they all have in common, you have to have a current diagnosis, okay? And that's for anything. You want to make sure you have that current diagnosis. Years ago when I rated, we could go off of symptoms, get you to the CMP exam, and that CMP examiner could possibly give you a diagnosis. Times have changed, so you might want to be proactive and make sure you get that diagnosis, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. Number one, tinnitus, ringing in the ears, okay? Now, in my opinion, this is one of the easiest claims to win, okay? But a lot of veterans still get denied. So the VA will concede your exposure to acoustic trauma based on your MOS or maybe combat, whether it be low, medium, or high probability. But where a lot of veterans go wrong is they don't know how to reasonably articulate their symptomology as it pertains to acoustic trauma at the CMP exam, okay? Don't worry about it. Thus the name Dwayne. I got a video for that, Kimball. I'm going to link my latest video on how to win your claim for tinnitus in the description section, okay? Let's keep going. Number two, PTSD based on combat and non-combat. So what does that mean? You don't have to have a documented diagnosis in service in your medical or mental health records. But you need a stressor or marker if you're claiming military sexual trauma that has to be verified. For example, if you're claiming PTSD due to combat, you served in Afghanistan, Iraq, let's say Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, somewhere in Southwest Asia, the Middle East, the VA will concede PTSD. Now, like I said earlier, that diagnosis, the current diagnosis is key. You definitely want to make sure you have that, okay? Non-combat, you saw someone in your unit get killed in a training accident. You have to know that person's name. And obviously, if you all were in the same unit, the VA can confirm that by looking at or going through your personnel records, okay? Super simple, but again, got to have that diagnosis. That's the first step, and then it has to go through the process. But PTSD does not have to be documented as a diagnosis in service, okay? Number 3, presumptive conditions. Okay. Presumptive conditions, the VA has a list, whether you're claiming 1 year, 3 years, 7 year, Camp Lejeune contaminated water, Vietnam Agent Orange exposure, okay, or Gulf War illnesses, okay. There's a list for each one of those that I just gave you, which shows those conditions, all right. But you have to have been in a certain location during a certain time frame. And again, especially with these presumptives, you got to already have a diagnosis. That's the best way to win that. But whatever you're claiming as a presumptive, it does not have to be documented in service. Oh, almost forgot. Do not forget about terror, okay? Toxic exposure. You know I got a video on that as well. So you can find that on my channel, okay? Now, number 4, conditions you can claim due to being awarded the parachute badge and or the aerosol badge. A lot of veterans, they have both, okay? So let's just say while on a jump, you jumped out of a plane or you rappelled out of a helicopter and you tweak your knee, you tweak your back or your ankle, but you never reported it, you just sucked it up. You can actually file a claim due to being awarded the parachute badge and aerosol badge, okay? But the wording has to be specific. For example, I am claiming a thoracolumbar condition, strain with pain on reduced range of motion. I am claiming this condition due to being awarded the parachute badge and or the aerosol badge. Please see my attached DD-214, which shows I was awarded both or maybe one or the other, okay? Also, please see my attached diagnosis from whatever medical center or doctor you got it from. And then please schedule a CMP exam to obtain a medical opinion with a rationale. Short, direct, and to the point. Also, I have a video on my channel where I talk about personal statements. I give you some examples of personal statements. Do not get long-winded, okay? So the last one, conditions claimed based on your credibility. And I know you're thinking, Dwayne, what are you talking about? Based on my credibility, okay? And the best way to explain this is there's an M21-1. I did a previous video on this, but there's an M21-1 that talks about credibility. And in that example that the VA give, yes, they gave you or give you examples in the M21-1. That's why I love it. Some of them do not, but some do, meaning the references, okay? So let's just say you were at the National Training Center, NTC, out in Fort Irwin, California, doing desert training. You're out there, you jump off your vehicle, whatever, you tweak your ankle, you tweak your back, okay? And you don't go to sick call. Or maybe you went to sick call, but they didn't document anything, okay? And now you want to file a claim. Well, you can file that claim based on the credibility that you're stating you were at the location and hurt your back. How do you do that? You have to prove that you were there. One of the ways to do it, a lot of veterans get a certificate of achievement, like in the Army, for going, or Army Commendation Medal, ARCOM, while you're out there. That's proof. And in that example, in the M21-1, that's exactly what it states. Now, what that VA employee should do is go ahead and give you a CMP exam. You go to the CMP exam, now you have to explain to that examiner, hey, this information or the treatment for my back or whatever condition you're claiming is not in my medical records because I didn't go on sick call. The reason why the VA gave me the CMP exam is because I hurt myself during a training exercise, and here's my certificate. Now, it comes down to a 50-50 chance with that examiner if they believe you or not. But let's just say they do. now you get service connected. If they don't, you can rinse and repeat, do a supplemental claim, okay? Get new and relevant evidence. And I even got a video on how to get your evidence fast, okay? So you can go to urgent care, boom, walk in, back hurt, next day, file a claim with that new and relevant evidence as a supplemental claim. And hopefully you get a different examiner. And if you're hardcore and you really want to get service connected, you may have to do it 2 or 3 times, okay? But hopefully you don't. Again, these are some things, these conditions that you can claim that do not have to be documented in service, and possibly you can get service connected. That being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and as always, share these videos with your fellow veterans. Thank you.